Goat, and today we're here with an amazing dueler, friend of mine, clanmate. I'm a pirate. How you doing? I'm a pirate.
Hey, what's up? I'm good.
So one of the aspects that people wanted to hear about from you as a player is you are quite the dueler. Is that right?
Yeah, I do quite a lot. Um, yeah,
What mods do you typically duel in?
well, basically Aikido and Aikido Big Dojo, but I do a lot of wushu, Wenshu free, uh, RK MMA, basically a lot of mods, but all the official mods and stuff like that.
Now,
But
what do you think does it take to become a really good dueler, and does being a good dueler necessarily mean being a good player?
well, you do need some sort of skill. Like you need to know what you're doing. You can't just go into it and duel because you'll lose. So you need to be quite a good player. Not like really good, but the better you are, the better chances you win.
What special skills do duelers like yourself need to have in order to play well in those circumstances? Because, for instance, I am a terrible dueler. Doesn't mean I'm a bad player. It just means, like, when it comes down to it, if I'm playing for money or in a clan war, I'm not doing so hot. What talents do you need to practice, and how does one try to get those skills as they want to become a dueler?
Well, one certain thing you have to like do is stay calm. You need to know what you're doing. You need to figure out a way to stay calm. I don't know, play music, something that will keep your head straight. And basically, you need to adapt to the player. Like each time you do someone else or something, so you need to know what he's gonna do or to think ahead of him. And that's what I do.
How do you stay calm in these high pressure situations? Because you've dueled for quite a lot of TC in the past.
Yeah, well, I guess I stay calm because I'm kind of used to it. But at the start, I was like crapping my pants over like 1K, and now I'm doing 100, 200K in duels, even more. But I don't know, just grow into it, I guess, something like that.
So for someone who's kind of interested in becoming a dueler, you'd recommend just diving right in and doing your best to.
No, like you need to first of all you need some sort of skill level to start. Then you can start with small deals, like 500 TC, maybe a bit more, and yeah, you grow up from there. You see like how you how are you doing, and if you do good, you can move on. If not, you'll practice more and start again.
Right. Why don't you tell us all a little bit about yourself? Because a lot of people don't really know who I'm a Pirate truly is. They've only seen him, oh, he's that guy who used to be in Flow, but they don't know the full backstory and how many games you've actually played and all of that. So can you go into that a little bit?
Like from what account I started and stuff.
Yeah, and all that, yeah.
Well, I started in late 2008, I think. My account named Gladiator, and I made it to somewhere around 18K QI and sold it. Then I opened a new account called Punisher and made it to 17.5K QI and sold it too. And then I made Imapirate, and he has another 18.5K QI, so yeah, that's quite a lot. So that's, and I had some more else, but never really used them too much. Somewhere around fourth round or something.
In terms of experience, a lot of people kind of go back and forth. Do you think that the games that you and I have played, because you and I have played just too many games of Toribash for it to be healthy, do you think that that experience from playing a lot of games is underrated, or do you think that there's a certain point where you're not learning that much more about Toribash?
Well, some days you can like just be stuck at one point. You don't see any progress, but in other days you like learn new stuff, and you always need to. I don't know what keeps me on this game for so many years, but I don't know. It's like you always learn new stuff from other players, and eventually you do learn something each time you play, even though a lot of time you just playing for fun. Um, I don't know. I think you do learn stuff from each player you play.
In your opinion, who is the best dueler in Toribash right now?
Well, there are a lot of guys like recently I lost like 800k to duels. Um, but it's always like moves now. You can have one with like 5 million, and the other day he has no DC at all. It's like always moves, so I can't really tell who is the best, but um, there are a lot of guys who are, got a lot better through the years. I mean, dueling community is like getting a bit bigger, but you can't really tell who's the best. I mean, I don't know. I really think that Dudicus, who stopped playing a few years ago, was a really bad new Judah. And
Can you say that again?
Dudicus, that was his username. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but he was a really good jeweler and kind of like my idol when I started jeweling.
And how profitable has dueling been for you? How much TC have you approximately made from your dueling?
A lot. I mean, like I said, you always lose and win, so you don't really know how much you made. But I would say that I don't know. I think like 10 mil or something. I also sold a lot of PC, so I don't know exactly, but around 10, 15 million like in the past few years.
10 to 15 million. My goodness.
I mean, I could make in a weekend like 2 mil, and the other day lose half of it and sold the rest. Or I don't know. Always moves, you know.
Well, I think it's time for you and I to duke it out in your probably best mod in Aikido, and maybe you can kind of go into how you play Aikido and how it's probably not how you play the same way in duels that you do in regular games, yeah?
Not quite. I mean, in duels I usually go for the inside grab and stuff like that. In regular play I just play for fun. I mean, I also play for the win, of course, but just for fun.
Play like a dueler against us right now, and maybe you can kind of go into what it is that you're doing that's different, why it's so effective, etc.
Alright. Well, I usually start with an inside grab. That way you can have a lot of control on the elbows and maybe even dismember the wrist. So gives you a lot of advantage. And basically I'm a passive player, so I'll just wait till you do something and then counter it. That's what I usually do.
Okay. So how
And
do you you're someone who likes to counter a lot. What are some tips if you're trying to teach someone how to counter really well in Aikido?
um, well, you always need to predict some of his moves because you will need to know what to counter. And well, I could stay in like not moving anything after the opener for like 5 turn frames and only then do something to counter his move. I mean, it's always like different with other players, so I can't really tell what do anything that is special. I mean, it works, but it's not special.
What do people in duels typically do that you need to prepare for in particular that you probably won't see as often in regular matches?
Well, uh, since people are not dueling regular Aikido and dueling in Aikido Big Dojo, it's they usually go for point swings or something like that. So you're either going with a kick or with a knee after the opener, and you're probably gonna get hit or dismembered or I don't know, get a lot of less points. So you need to counter the kick or get a way to gain those points afterwards. So
Decap! Woohoo!
nice one. Yeah, I don't know, like even tips is hard because I don't have too many tips. Usually just go with it. I mean, I improvise most of the time, so I don't really know what to say.
That's fine. What has your experience been so far? You are now in, and it feels weird for me to like ask you this question in that way because you're in my clan, but you're now in an elite clan. What do you think were some of the key tips and points? Because people typically want to be joining really hard to get into clans like Urban, like Alpha, like RAR. Do you have any tips and like what was the process like for you? I mean, I sort of know it, but they don't about how you got it to where you are now.
So, um, process. Well, I didn't do much besides playing really good. So, guess that you need like to be chilled about the game. Don't let the game get in your mind. I mean, you need to think what you're gonna do and how to react to stuff. If you keep your mind clear, you eventually get into better places. Honestly, you need a skill too. So skill comes from practice. Practice means you're gonna play a lot of Turibash in the coming times. I think.
Do you think a lot of people overthink when playing Toribash?
Yeah, a lot of people, and I notice this on myself too. So when my mind is occupied with something, I play a lot less good. I mean, if you think about, oh, he's gonna do that, what I'm gonna do now, and you keep your mind occupied, you won't be able to counter the move. You just need to clear your mind and see what's going on.
So just don't become tunnel visioned is a big tip for you.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. I think a lot of people. I mean, it's okay to take a game seriously, but there's a point where you taking the game seriously is making you a worse player. And darn it, frickin' hand. uh, all right. What about this? Is before we go, I want to just get some last tips coming from I'm a pirate. So you're a heavy dueler. You're in a great clan. You're one of the best Aikido players that I know of, and have done really well in clan league so far, going up against some pretty great players and coming out on top. What are your final tips to people who want to play more like I'm a pirate?
Well, I think that my main tip is to like try and talk to the player and predict what he's gonna do. And this comes with a lot of practice. And, you know, if you play a lot, you can predict the moves. You know what they're gonna do. You know, I mean, not exactly, but you can think around. You can see like maybe what they're gonna do. And most of the time, you will be right if you play a lot. So I think my tip is like play a lot of the mode you want to be good in, and eventually you will be good at it. And I don't know if that's a good tip or not, but I don't have anything else.
you really think being reactive is really the way to go on this?
Yeah, I mean, that's working so far. So why not?
Fair enough. Well, thank you so much for your time, I'm a pirate. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for the interview.
Of course. And anyone, thank you guys so much for watching ToribashTakeOVer. This is RoboGoat. This is I'm a Pirate here with us today. He's a great dueler, great friend. Uh, Basically a god belt if you count in all of his QI from all of his different accounts. And anyone can learn a lot from him. So if you have any questions for I'm a Pirate, let me know. I'll make sure to forward them to you and then answer the questions. And thanks a lot for watching ToribashTakeOVer. Keep subscribing, keep liking the videos, keep watching the videos, and let's make sure Toribash takes over.